Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Dillian Whyte this past weekend had a tough fight with Tyson Fury. A lot of people were praising Dillian Whyte just for the fact that he got him there and he was trying something different. He really was trying to figure out Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury is just a complex puzzle. It's not that simple. It's not like coming in there reading a Dr. Seuss book. It's more or less having a Harry Potter book put in front of you, and you're reading on more of a fourth grade level and trying to figure that out and understand those words and comprehend what you're dealing with. But Dillian Whyte has come out now and broke his silence and started talking about how he feels in regards to his performance. In addition, he talked about where the fight went wrong, in his opinion, and going forward with his career, kind of how he's postured amongst fellow heavyweights. So the first thing with Dillian Whyte, he talked about his performance, right? And this is where sometimes you just have to really think about your words, because once he puts those words out there, you can't take them back. And social media is rough on everybody because people are just there behind a computer, and 95% of them don't even have a camera. They're just there and they're just rattling off the most hurtful comments they possibly could conjure up. And I think most people do it just trying to be funny, and it's just not cool. But sometimes you give people the ammunition to want to say something crazy to you. I'm not saying it's warranted, but if Tyson Fury beats you, give Tyson Fury his credit. It seems to be like even with Deontay Wilder, give Tyson Fury his credit. I get what the drama with the second fight. The third fight, you lost. He didn't really say he didn't lose that fight, but he didn't really have much to say. But, stay after for the post-fight press conference and talk. Give the fans something. But when you just storm off, that's not cool. If the whole world just saw you lose. So at least sit back. It's okay. It's a fight. We expect someone to lose. We hope someone gets knocked out. And if it happens to be you, well, it is what it is. 99.9% of the people who are saying harsh things about these fighters have probably never, ever even sparred. Probably never even had a schoolyard fight. Moreover, they surely wouldn't get in the ring. I'm telling you, man, that's sparring. You get the guys who think they're really tough. All of them think they're some kind of bad man, right? When they get in that ring. Anyone out here who's watching this video who's done any sparring or been around boxing, you get those guys in the ring and they're lost. They don't want anything to do with it. They start looking at the person they're sparring a lot differently, especially if he's in there with these old dingy sweatpants twisted around his waist with this old dingy t-shirt and glasses on. And then you see him take that off, put on his little headgear, put on a little cup, come in there with these big-ass, funny-looking gloves. And all of a sudden now, after he hits you with a couple of shots, he's been transformed from nerd into Superman. Clark Kent into Superman. And you're looking at him totally different. Like, how in the world is this guy doing that to me? So to me, people shouldn't break Dillian Whyte down, but he's giving him ammunition because he's saying that he felt the fight was very competitive. Now, people, this is my opinion now, but I don't think the majority feels this way. The consensus says that fight wasn't competitive. The first round, I gave it to Dillian Whyte, and some people disagree with me, right? But he didn't win the first round because he was outsmarting. He was a step ahead of Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury was just sitting there collecting data, and he gave the round away. Okay, so I want to be clear about that. But some people still felt Tyson Fury took that round. I felt Dillian Whyte did. He was a bit more active. He came out in that funny southpaw stance, but it is what it is. So if Dillian Whyte was to say that he got the first round, no problem with that. But anything after that, Dillian Whyte is a bit delusional, saying he felt that he was, in there the whole time. It was back and forth. And he's talking as if he made it hard for Tyson Fury. And I don't think so. I do think he made Tyson Fury think. He made in a sense that, okay, I believe I have this guy's card, but I'm not going to be foolish and just go crazy trying to get him out of here early. He made Tyson Fury think about those kind of decisions. Not think like, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. No, it's more like, let me be smart, be strategic, execute the game plan. By mid-round, I get him out of here. And that's what happened. But then Dillian Whyte goes on and says Tyson Fury was a dirty fighter. Tyson Fury initiated the behind-the-head shots and the dirty tactics. That's why he retaliated, because he's not going to let anyone put their hands on him or do something to him that he doesn't think is fair or he doesn't like. He's going to do it back. He's not that guy. So he's still talking like Dillian Whyte. Then he said Tyson Fury was using his head and had this thing in the clinches where he was tilting his head, pushing his head to the side of him. That's how he got the cut right there on the corner of his eye. And what Tyson Fury was doing, there was a little clash of heads, right? He wasn't fighting dirty. Tyson Fury is tall. He's using his advantage. And what Tyson Fury did in that fight is reach a whole lot those first 3-4 rounds and tie up Dillian Whyte, because he knew Dillian Whyte, he can't fight from the outside. But if he gets in close, that's where he's dangerous. Anyone who watches boxing and is familiar with Dillian Whyte knows that. He's not going to sit out there and jab and float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. He's not doing that. He's going to just kind of plod along, try to get close to you behind the jab, let a big, ridiculously looping right hand come, and then try to catch you with that left hand. Like, that's his fight. He'll throw shots to the body, but when he throws those hooks, they look sloppy. But that's his fight, and it's effective. Tyson Fury knew that. The next thing, Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury, and I'm not biased to either one. He didn't do anything. He wasn't dirty in that fight. It got a little ugly in there around the third or fourth round. I think the third round. But Dillian Whyte was, trying to use some dirty tactics, elbow in his chest, and act of desperation because he's trying to get the advantage, because it's not a tickling contest, it's a fight. Then Dillian Whyte goes on and says his plan and his strategy in that fight was to out-jab Tyson Fury, to use his jab because he has long arms and he knew he could out-jab him to the head, to the body. He didn't necessarily have to be in close. I don't know what fight Dillian Whyte was watching, but I think he's a bit delusional, feeling that his jab was effective and he was going to somehow out-jab Tyson Fury. Now, I did a video about Dillian Whyte and his arms. He does have unusually long arms for a guy who's 6'3", 6'4". It's 78 inches, 78.5. Tyson Fury is 85. But those long arms, yeah, he can touch Tyson Fury, but you're still talking about, 6-7 inch difference in reach. And Tyson Fury knows how to use it. Then you're looking at Tyson Fury's stride as far as his legs, and just a half step for Tyson Fury is like a foot and a half as far as step back for Dillian Whyte. So just the dimension of Tyson Fury, there was just, to me, going to be near impossible for Dillian Whyte to out-jab him or close the distance, because Dillian Whyte he's not fast. He doesn't have the ability like Deontay Wilder to, in a split of a second, close that distance and get that right hand off. Plus, Deontay Wilder's reach is about the same as Tyson Fury's. And he punches extremely fast. His hands are extremely fast. That's where Dillian Whyte just didn't have the opportunities that what Deontay Wilder had. It just had the disadvantage as far as reach and speed. But Dillian Whyte, when you listen to him in the interview, he's saying that he thought it was very competitive and he was being effective with his reach and just overall engaging Tyson Fury, which is complete madness. So we all know what happened with the uppercut. Dillian Whyte said he was trying to let go of his hook. I think he said an uppercut at the time. At the same time, Tyson Fury was throwing his uppercut. That's not what happened. Dillian Whyte was standing there thinking about what to do, and Tyson Fury, his hands were busier. And what happened is Tyson Fury changed speeds on his punches, and that was after several rounds of just pity-patting, jabbing, letting the right hand go, few check hooks, and just moving around, he lulled Dillian Whyte into that uppercut. And what I mean by that is he set that up. He had Dillian Whyte feeling he didn't have much to worry about. Tyson Fury was going to box the whole fight, not take chances with huge power punches. And the first time Tyson Fury threw the uppercut, it was perfectly timed, perfectly placed, the perfect punch selection. But what shocked me was the speed he put on that uppercut. And Dillian Whyte was hurt. He was out on his feet. Okay? So Dillian Whyte didn't stand a chance just because of Tyson Fury, the way he threw that uppercut. And it was textbook uppercut. If you watch, Tyson Fury didn't reel it all the way back. He shot like almost right off the hip, just straight up. He just shot it. He didn't cut back. He just let it go. And because of his height and from where that punch was coming from, it didn't take long to get to Dillian Whyte's face. And Dillian Whyte was out. So the next thing about Dillian Whyte and the knockout, right? He says that Tyson Fury should have been disqualified, or that Dillian Whyte feels that Dillian Whyte, should have been given 5 minutes to recover, because he said Tyson Fury broke the rules by shoving him like that. He said Tyson Fury hit him with the uppercut. He said it was a good shot. He was buzzed, but he wasn't hurt. He said, but when he got hit, he was thinking, okay, collect yourself. That was a good shot. You know, just keep a cool head. This is what Dillian Whyte said. And then he says, when that happened, then all of a sudden Tyson Fury took two hands and shoved him as hard as he could. And then Dillian Whyte says that's where he fell back and hit his head. And that's what really made him threw off his equilibrium. That's what hurt him, is falling backwards and slamming his head to the canvas. Let me tell you something, right? Dillian Whyte didn't hit his head on the canvas. What happened is that damn Tyson Fury uppercut. When he hit Dillian Whyte, he stood him up. He starched him. Dillian Whyte locked up. He was in La La Land. Now he didn't short circuit him how Deontay Wilder short circuit where you just see guys collapse. No, he locked him up. And Dillian Whyte was just standing there in another world. And the Tyson Fury, I mean, it was just so quick. It was like the combination, like uppercut, shove. And he fell down. And then he got up a little too quick, and he was stumbling. And Dillian Whyte, in my opinion, we got to be fair. You know what? When he said that, I do think the referee could have given him some time. He did get shoved. He did. But the shove wasn't him falling to the canvas as a result of the shove is not what hurt him. It's not what caused the fight to be stopped. It's that uppercut. And that's it. But he's a bit delusional because he's trying to grab onto things to make an excuse for what happened. And someone in his corner just had to tell him, look, man, you just lost. It's a fight. And Dillian Whyte said he knows it's a fight. He's trying to not sound like a sore loser, not trying to sound bitter, but he's bitter. He's sore. And he's having a tough time accepting losing the fight like that. And at this point, with Dillian Whyte, we got to be concerned about him because his punch resistance obviously is not the same as it once was. And to lose in his losses, he's lost by vicious knockout. That's not good. So that just tells you, I guess I'll go ahead and say it. It's like he kind of got a little bit of Amir Khan in him when it comes to that chin and a clean shot landing on him. If a big shot hits him, he's out of there. And he's got to be careful going forward, which he plans on continuing to box. He plans on moving forward. He definitely does. He definitely does plan on moving forward, man. But we're going to see I didn't update them. Update is what I'm talking. We're going to see just what he does with himself, man, because Dillian Whyte needs to stop making excuses. In my opinion, he needs to stop making those excuses. And as far as the rest of his career, who knows what's going to happen with the rest of his career? Because he was a free agent. So what does he do next as a free agent, right? Because that's where he is. What does he do next as a free agent? Eddie Hearn has already kind of distanced himself from Dillian Whyte. Normally, when AJ loses, Eddie Hearn is all about defending AJ, talking about the next fight, the rematch, getting the belts back, or getting him into a great position With Dillian Whyte, he's not talking anything like that. He's just like, yeah, he got outclassed, the better man won. And I just think that's a little unfortunate to kick the man while he's down. Although that may not be Eddie's intentions, he knows what he's doing. Eddie Hearn's a smart man. You know, to come out and speak the way he was speaking before the fight, how they're very close, have a great working relationship, great business relationship, and then the man gets knocked out like that, and then to come and say, hey, that he got outclassed, the better man won. He didn't have to say all that. You know, he could have spoken totally different about Dillian Whyte and Dillian Whyte going forward. He didn't have to come and just, you know, make and kind of kick him while he's down. And that's how I took it. And the reason why Eddie Hearn was super cordial, super kind to him, and spoke super highly of him before the fight is because Eddie Hearn was thinking, if this guy wins, I need to keep him close to me. So he signs with me as the WBC champion, and now I have him and Joshua in-house if Joshua beats Usyk. Also, Eddie Hearn's thinking, in case Joshua loses, at least I have a WBC champion. But now that, you know, that's in the breeze, as I say, Eddie Hearn seems like he has no real use for Dillian Whyte. So, while I'm talking about it, I'll go ahead and touch on it. So what does Dillian Whyte do next? Okay, he's delusional. He hasn't really accepted the defeat to Tyson Fury. He's asking for a rematch. He says he feels he needs a rematch. He feels that the fight wasn't handled properly by the referee and that he should have been allowed to continue. If he gets the second opportunity, he said the fight's going to be a lot different. He said that his goal in that fight was to stay behind the jab, you know, work him a little bit, you know, not be too ridiculous, too aggressive, too reckless, but the second half of the fight to really pick it up. He says now that he's lost, he's feeling like, you know what, maybe I should have picked it up earlier. There's a lot of things that going through his mind about what could have been done differently. And, you know, hey, you can't leave your mind behind. No matter where you go in this world, your mind's with you. So those thoughts are going to eat him alive until he comes to peace with that, because that loss is really eating him up. There's no tablet he can take to rid those thoughts from his head. So he's going to just take some time and him just sit back and just say, okay, it is what it is. He got life-changing money, not what he wanted, but he got life-changing money. And he should be lucky that the referee didn't allow that fight to go on another round, because he would have came out probably a bit concussed, hurt, and then probably would have got put to sleep. Not just stood up, not just starched, not just dazed. He would have got put to sleep at one of those Deontay Wilder type knockouts. And that's not what you want to see to him. That's something that could end his career, damage him. And that's just not what, you know, no matter whether you like him or not, when it comes to these boxers, that's not what you want to see. You don't want to hear those stories of somebody, because no matter what you like, if you like Dillian Whyte or not, he's entertaining, especially when he's ranting and raving. But you just would hate to hear that he's going through something, brain damage, bleeding on the brain, whatever, swelling. That's just not what you want to hear. And I think if he would have been given some time, or they didn't give him the time, but the referee let him return to his corner, they splashed him with some water, try to kind of revive him, and he came out, I just think within 30 seconds, Fury would have got him out of there and would have hurt him. But going forward, what does Dillian Whyte do next? He plans to continue fighting. He says he's still young, he feels strong, he feels good. But going forward, I mean, I just think we have to be concerned about his health. He needs it, in my opinion, he's got to watch out for, you know, he's going to become a gatekeeper. But he's got to watch out for, definitely stay away from Deontay Wilder. He doesn't move enough. He's a sitting duck. Stay away from Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez has legs. He has movement. Frank Sanchez isn't going to sit there and let Dillian Whyte get off with those shots. Frank Sanchez is going to clip him. He's too fast, too intelligent of a boxer. But it's the speed that's going to kill him. Dillian Whyte against anyone with speed is going to lose. He should not fight Andy Ruiz. I think Andy Ruiz is not the same fighter that fought in that first Joshua fight. He's not. But I think his hands are quick enough and he's smart enough where he'll jump on Dillian Whyte early and hit him. And Andy Ruiz can crack. As soon as he touches him, Dillian Whyte's out of there. Now, if Andy Ruiz stands there admiring his work and Dillian Whyte lets that big bazooka left hook go, yeah, whoever he touches with that left hook is out of there. But that's the only chance he has right now. He's got a puncher's chance, but for the most part, he's on the decline, in my opinion. I just think he's on the decline. There's 3 vicious knockouts like that. It's not good. And all of them were by uppercut. You know, like I did a video, he's allergic to uppercuts. I'm trying to think of a heavyweight that throws vicious uppercuts. Not Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz lets his hand go straight shots and hooks. He's not known for uppercuts. Deontay Wilder is more that right hand. Yeah, but any heavyweight that throws an uppercut. AJ, he definitely doesn't want to fight AJ. He already got a taste of that. Frank Sanchez, like Java, you know, these other guys, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what Dillian Whyte should do, but good luck to him. I don't even think he should fight Joseph Parker again. You know, he got hurt in that fight, saved by the bell. I just think Dillian Whyte needs to sit back, just cool, relax, cool himself, man, and really think about what to do next. There's surely some big fights out there. He's a big name, but I think he's more on the downside. I just don't see him and that resistance as far as his inability to take punches like that. I don't see a way to improve that. Now, if there's any way you can improve that, then somebody let me know in the comments. I'm not talking about neck exercises with the weights and all that. I'm not talking about different things that strengthen your chin. I'm talking about punch resistance, man. You know, I'm not talking about all the stuff that Mike Tyson did, all those. I'm not talking about that. Like, but when someone no matter what you do, if you're chinny, you're chinny. And with him, true, these are big men hitting him. You know, these aren't 125 pounders. But it just seems to be he can't take a solid shot from those gargantuan guys running around at heavyweight, like the 240 plus guys. If they touch him, he's out of it. Just like if he touches one of them, they're out of there. But his left hand is special. He doesn't just throw a big shot with the left hand. That's a bomb that detonates on you. But his right hand isn't like that. That's what you call just a big shot. The right hand is a big shot. You hurt him, but it's not going to knock anybody down, not going to knock anyone out. His left hook is something special. Like, you can't teach that. But as far as him getting in the ring with guys, just them having a big right and left hand will put him down. It doesn't have to be the God-gifted concrete hands like Deontay Wilder. Anyone who lands cleanly on him is going to, with a little bit of power, is going to put him out. And that's what I think Dillian Whyte is at this point. But as far as him and what he's going to do next, he still plans on fighting. I think he's going to struggle to find a promoter that wants to sign him because, remember, he's not wrong. They should have given him the tickets to make sure he had peace of mind as far as his parents being able to come, his friends. You know, like, he shouldn't have to worry about that crap. So I can't blame him for not wanting to be there, participating in the press conference. But some people aren't going to see it that way. They're going to always see it as though he's a problem, he's on the edge, what will he do next? And there's just a lot of negative stereotypes and connotations that are being directed at him. Some of it's earned, some of it's not. And I don't think that's fair. But at the same time, he created some of his own misery. And it's going to make it hard for guys or promoters to want to deal with him. I mean, hell, he went and confronted Suleiman Mauricio Jr., whatever the hell. He went and confronted that guy. And I get it. You have questions. You finally got the guy there. You want to have a conversation. But if you watch Suleiman's face, his nonverbals were like, whoa, like very uncomfortable. More or less saying, look, you know, you're still worried about the past. We're here now. But I can't blame Whyte for wanting answers. That stressed him out, man. 5 years of being stressed out like that cost him a lot of money. You think about the money for lawyers, and then think about the money he could have made in a big fight with Wilder, you know. So I understand Whyte's frustration, but he's just I just think he's in a bad space right now, and I'm curious to see what he's going to do next as far as fighting and who's going to promote him, because he's a handful, man. But you got to understand his situation and his experiences in life. Those quills, it's not even a matter of his quills coming out. His quills don't retract. They stay out. And I understand why he's like that. I get it. I really do. But these promoters and these professionals and these guys with all these millions of dollars who are looking at you, want them to invest in you, they ain't gonna want to deal with that. Eddie Hearn's a different type of animal. Eddie Hearn knew what he was doing, knew what he had, but now you have these losses. Don't be surprised if Eddie Hearn try to pick up Joe Joyce. You know, keep working with Joseph Parker and try to get his hands on a Frank Sanchez and look at what the next wave of heavyweights coming up. Eddie Hearn's already, I think the ship sailed as far as Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte. I really do. I could be wrong. Time will tell. But and Dillian Whyte still feels that he sold out the 94,000 tickets. So a lot of I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'm not over in the UK. But put in the comments below. Was it Dillian Whyte? How much did he contribute to those 94, 98, 95,000 tickets being sold? Or was it just because it was Tyson Fury fighting? It takes two to tango. So I think they have a complementary relationship, a fighting relationship, and I think Dillian Whyte did help get some of those butts and seats. But how many of you guys feel it was just with or without Dillian Whyte, 94,000 seats would have been sold for Tyson Fury because it was his homecoming after being in America for the last few years, returning home soil, and fighting in front of his countrymen. And my thing is, if Dillian Whyte feels he put a lot of those butts in the seats, I know he's headline pay-per-view before. So just how many butts in the seat can Dillian Whyte, honestly put in? How many butts can he get in the seat? Is he a 20, 30, 40,000, 50, 80, 100,000 type guy or less? Okay, that's what I want to know. But anyway, that's the 2 cents on Dillian Whyte. What's he going to do next? He thinks he was done wrong. He wants a rematch, and it is what it is. Hey, shout out to all the veterans. Thanks for your support. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. More videos to come. As always, I'm in the breeze.